Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining this. In this special episode, you will meet my guest who has been selling online on e-commerce store and also a power seller on eBay for almost over 4 years. Have sold millions of dollars online, some cool stuff. We want to really get to know from him, and he is passionate to help others. So, hello, this is Mohammed Siddiq, publisher of Work From Home magazine. Today, I have a very special guest from Australia, Dave Harrison, founder of HeavyMetalMerchant.com. Is that correct, David?
Yes, HeavyMetalMerchant.com. That's it.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining me on this content pack training today. Please join me to welcome our guest, Dave Harrison. Dave, you are on screen.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Dave, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with? And that inspired you to do what you do today?
Okay, just to make a long story short, I was like most people. I had done a few things in my past as far as employment goes. I started out in my early days, I was like a musician playing a lot of gigs and heavy rock bands.
Dave, 1 second. Sorry. Look into the camera only. You don't look at me at all.
Yeah, sure.
You are looking at it a little bit down because that will not connect with them. Okay, cut. Go for it.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Started out and playing in rock bands and things like that, and then I fell into a marketing job selling advertising for a music magazine. Did that for some time, and then I ended up in the corporate for 2 years, pretty much a corporate job, sales as in a management position, and that was after 2 years. I was just burning out. The usual thing that people do. Basically, you've got no lifestyle equity. You've got to be there at this time, finish at that time, work in a cube, transit to your work destination, and all those kind of things. On the side, I was selling on eBay as an e-commerce seller, just as a hobby, selling stuff around the house. And it got to a point with my job where I just didn't feel connected with that anymore. It was just draining me, like a lot of people would probably appreciate. So yeah, I took the plunge, started doing it full time. This is probably going back 6 years now. Within 6 months, I pretty much equaled the income I was making in my corporate job, took on a first full-time employee. And from there, we've just grown the business and just grown it every year to a place we're comfortable with, have a lifestyle that we're comfortable with, and no longer trapped in a sort of a corporate sort of environment where you're in a bureaucratic system and, on the wrong side of the tax bracket and all those kind of things, and pretty much in control of your own destiny. And I think that's a lot happier place to be in. You only got one life, so you might as well live it on your terms and have the equity of your lifestyle, knowing when you have your lunch break, when to take your holidays, choose the hours that you work, and basically run your own ship, So that's where I'm at now.
That's Dave. Thank you so much for sharing. That's an amazing story, and I'm sure many people sitting in a cube are thinking to get out of that invisible jail, prison,
You escape from the cubicle nation, yeah.
Yeah, that invisible jail, basically. That's what I call it. I had the same thing for years, I'm blessed to be out of that one for almost over 15 years,
Yeah, it's a good feeling, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. It's like now you really feel a free bird,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can actually end up working more hours for yourself, but it just doesn't feel like you're working so much because, I'm working from home as well. Want to make the business at a size where it's comfortable to manage. Provides a lifestyle that it's good enough to what we like, a good lifestyle. So can't really ask much more than that, really. It's great, but people should take the plunge and do it if they got the right information and those kind of things. Go for it.
Cool. So thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. What makes you uniquely qualified to speak on selling on e-commerce and power seller on eBay?
I guess with most things too, when you're looking to do something that is going to be out of your comfort zone, the best thing to do, I guess, is to seek people out that have already gotten some kind of a result similar to what you want. So you can find, basically what they've done and take some hints and guide. It's a bit of a roadmap to where to go from there. So in some ways, I haven't worked a real job for probably about 6 years now. I run my own ship and I'm, successful at it now. So I guess in some ways I must be doing some things right that works for me. So I guess it would make me qualified in some way people either do it or they teach it or whatever. But I think the best thing to do is get the information from someone that's actually done it or is doing it currently, and they're good mentors to have. So in some ways, maybe I might be have some information at the right time for someone who's in the position I was 6 years ago and looking to escape that cubicle that they're working in,
Wonderful, wonderful. In fact, that's true, folks. You're watching this, and Dave has an impressive story. And we only bring people on our shows for the Work From Home magazine. People not only who are teaching, they are actually doing it. They have their own business, and they are actually making a killing on their own business, and they're successful. It's like a been there and done that. Many teachers, they only teach. They are probably very wonderful teachers, but they're not doing really business on their own. And then it's like a school teacher, they're teaching you to become successful in the corporate world, but they've never been in. Most of the teachers have never been in the corporate world themselves. They don't know. It's all like academic knowledge. You really who has walked the talk, basically, that's a very important.
Yeah, I like it too, like riding a surfboard. You can learn all the academics and the, of learning how to surf. You can read, 100 books or 1,000 books on the subject, but until you actually get on the surfboard and start riding it, you're going to get dumped on your first wave. So I think, getting in there and actually doing it and being in the trenches counts for a lot,
Cool. Jim Rohn said, bigger the why, easier the how. Why selling on your own e-commerce store and eBay is so important to achieve a greater success, in your point of view?
I like those. Jim Rohn is a great, the late great Jim Rohn, business philosopher. Yeah, some great quotes. So basically the why, I think a lot of people, e-commerce obviously is exploding. It's been growing every year for the last, decade or more. Mobile commerce is exploding. I mean, we've got the first generation of internet natives that's just basically hit the scene, and they've got their own spending money now, and they're native to the internet. They're shopping on the mobile devices, iPads, global reach. Small is now the new big. Lose the big middle management bloat or big organizations that have to be really big in the past to reach an international market. They've had to have offices around the world. These days, no longer necessary. With e-commerce, you can reach a global market from your home. You've got potentially millions and millions of customers waiting to spend their money. And now they have the technology. Even in the last, 3 to 5 years, the mobile commerce has absolutely exploded, and the young generation are there waiting to buy. So why not use these opportunities to tap into a niche? And now more and more niches are becoming the king on the net. So basically, the mass market is dead. The problem is people are overloaded with information, so they seek out what they like. And the niche is where you're at, and niches are king on the internet. So basically, the internet is a place to be if you want to sell things. Depending, not all product types lend well to the e-commerce world, but a lot of them do. And people are looking for those items, the convenience of shopping online. So this is the why. The why is we've got the technology to have a huge reach with low overheads. And if you've got some marketing skill, you can always learn and go for it. The opportunities are there that weren't there for previous generations. This is the first time in history where we can really take advantage of this. So I'd say that's a good why to do it. And also it affords you a lifestyle equity to have freedom of choice, choosing where to work from, the hours you work, cutting out all the commuting and all those extra expenses.
We are going to get to that one in a second. Don't spill all the beans in one.
Yeah, cool. We'll get to the next part then.
So if you notice, folks, if you notice that Dave was saying a niche, that's Australian niche. In the US, we call it a niche. Niche. Niche.
We call it niche.
Yeah, I know. So we have like Americans, Australians, the UK, from probably all over the world. So I want to make sure that no one is confused. Niche, if you are from US and Canada, if it's from Australia and New Zealand, probably it's niche. So I just want to clarify that one.
I pronounce it niche. Niche.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, what is the building a business by selling on your own e-commerce store or eBay by definition, for someone who does not understand this? What's the definition of own e-commerce?
So what is it? Yeah. Well, basically, I'd say there's five things what selling on e-commerce is. One, is value creation, finding products that people want, that your audience wants. So, and basically finding the market. For your market, what do these people want to buy? What are the products they want? That's your value creation. That's number one. Number two of these businesses is basically marketing. Marketing for any business is attracting your basically customers and building demand for your products. That's the second one. So you've got your value creation, your marketing. The next one here is sales. So turning your marketing and your customers or your products into your market into valued customers. Sales. The next one's a value creation. That's delivering on your promise, what you promised, and having happy customers. And the fifth one, the result of that is finance. Finance is creating enough money to make it worthwhile for you to keep continuing doing what you're doing. So that's a recap. You got the value creation, finding your market and what the products that they want in the market. Number two is the marketing, actually getting and reaching those customers. Number three is the sales, converting those customers and making them buy your products. Number four is basically, as I said, the value delivery, making sure those customers are happy. And number five is the finance, making sure you've got enough money to sustain a quality of life that you're happy with. And that's different for different people. So that's how you gauge success there. So that's pretty much what an e-commerce, I think, basic fundamentals are.
Cool. That's good. That's good. If you are still watching and you're confused on this number of steps, let me tell you the one thing which is the most critical in this whole making or breaking your business is one of the steps which David just shared with us. That's marketing. That will be your ongoing thing. That is the most important one. If you have to even learn one thing, that is the one thing. However, every other step is very important. You need it. That's like a whole business, running a successful business.
Absolutely, yeah. Marketing, nothing happens. Marketing, a lot of people in the past, they look at marketing as some kind of dirty word or something like that. It's one of the most important skills you can learn. Anything you don't know how to market, you can be successful in any venture that you have. So
yeah, of
absolutely.
Course. Until somebody see your product or page or website or something, nothing will happen. No one will buy ever.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a skill now. It's fast changing, and we've got massive leverage now to market with technology. So
absolutely,
learning marketing is the most highest value activity that you can use for your time. Is learning how to market. It's got to be number one. It makes you more valuable. It's like, as I said, don't work on your job. Work on yourself, and want to work on yourself. Learn how to market.
Wonderful,
absolutely,
wonderful. So after now you have answered the what question. The next is how question. How can someone can start selling on their own e-commerce store and eBay on step-by-step basis?
Okay, I think it's pretty. I mean, obviously, to get started is not difficult these days. You've got different platforms to sell on, and you also got different avenues to do things. I mean, we've got everything now from social media stores to the very, very well-established shopping malls like Amazon and eBay. These are the new versions of shopping malls these days. So Amazon and eBay, and these are new. eBay is now celebrating their 20th anniversary. So these are some good, as far as the how goes, these are some good places to start because there's already customers looking there. And then from there, basically, you can look at these as customer acquisition channels to drive them onto your own e-commerce site. A lot of mistakes little people make is they start an e-commerce site at .com, but they don't have any customers. So it's all down to marketing. You've got to drive these customers. It's like in the old days, it's like having a store located right on the outskirts that no one even knows is there, and you've got to drive the customers. So a good place to start for a newbie really is on a marketplace where there is millions of customers looking to spend money. So you can just start from just one item. For an e-commerce store, you have to have a lot of items. You've got to have a big shop front, basically. So there's a lot more startup costs. So the how, start on a marketplace. It's just my suggestion. And then build it from there. You'll learn the skills. You'll learn how to deal with customers. You'll learn how to source products, find out what your market wants. And then you can use that as a customer acquisition to start building your own brand, which is very important, and start marketing through the different multitude of avenues these days to start building your own e-commerce site. But I say, yeah, hop online, get on a marketplace, start selling things out of your house, your garage, have a clean up, and then use that and start reinvesting from retained earnings and start building up your own business from there. This is some basic guidelines.
Yeah, that's definitely when you start, you choose your own platform, whatever you feel more comfortable, and then you like set up a product on mostly like eBay or on your website. In fact, as per Dave, you want to start with the marketplace. With eBay, the marketplace, the millions of buyers are already searching for the product. So you want to start there, list your product over there, or it could be Amazon, it could be eBay, or any other like a big auction sites or something wherever the customers are already there. You just kind of show up in the line. Basically, that's a part of the big virtual mall, and right
Yes.
from there, and then you extend yourself to your own e-commerce site, then attract people from social media or search engine marketing or all kind of other different new kind of marketing always come along the road every day almost. You pick up your own battles. Basically, that's what they say in marketing.
That's right. There's a saying in marketing now, for the modern marketing approach, it's not about getting your name out there like in the old mass market days of TV advertising. You get your name out there. It's not really getting your name out there. You want your customer's name on your list. So when you got your list built up, you can start marketing to your market and customers. And basically, successful business is really the easiest way to have a successful business, to have a nice customer base and keep reselling to the same customers rather than having to acquire new customers all the time. So it's about getting their name on your list. The mass market is dead. Find your niche, the niche that you're after. It's like a tribal approach to marketing. Market to your tribe, get their names onto your list and get your list, market to them. And basically, if you're going to market and spend money on marketing, market for response and return on investment. Don't market for branding. Branding is for something that's for big old-fashioned businesses like Coca-Cola, McDonald's. They want to brand and spend millions of dollars and billions of dollars branding. You want to make every cent that you spend count. So you want a return on investment on that. This is the how. So for every spend you spend on social media or whatever it is, on advertising, you want to get a return on that. So that way you keep growing your business from retained earnings and as a bootstrap startup. So make sure that you market for response, market to your niche. Don't bother with the mass market. It's not about getting your name out there. It's basically getting their name on your list. So that's how a good way, or a good approach for a startup, small business, a working behind business to approach their marketing.
Wonderful.
That makes sense.
What if any one of our Work From Home magazine subscribers want to get started with selling on eBay and maybe on their own web store? How would their life look like in 30 days, 90 days, or 1 year from now?
I think it's like any endeavor, like to start up any entrepreneurial endeavor, it does take a lot of effort and to get things started. It's like getting so I liken it sometimes when I tell my friends, it's like getting a jet plane to take off. It takes a huge amount of energy to get it flying off the ground. Once you got it off the ground, it's looking at the controls and you're in flight. So it's just adjusting things. But to get that thing up takes a lot of leverage. So you're going to be working probably. Well, I don't say working so much. Work is you get in there and you do it, but you look at being how productive and effective at what you're doing. So for the first 30 days, be a new environment. You're going to have to really self-discipline yourself. But you'll be loving what you're doing, so it won't feel like work. But you probably will be doing more hours than you would be at a normal job just to get that thing started. That's what happens. It's a normal way of doing things. But you'll be able to choose those hours. Some people are morning people. Some people are work in the evening. But you're not going to be locked into that 9 to 5 anymore. That 9 to 5, that's an old industrial age kind of concept. You turn up at a 9 to 5 job because you can make more widgets in a factory. We're in the knowledge worker age. We don't need to, the old Peter Drucker thing. To be effective at e-commerce or business or marketing online, work when you are the most productive. So you discipline yourself. I find what's very a part of the how is to have a timer, like a 50-minute timer I set, focus, clean energy, work, be productive and be effective. And you can do that for 30 days. You'll do say 5 or 6 of those blocks in a day. You'll be way more productive than probably the average worker that drives to work, spends on average probably 4 hours of being productive, twiddles their thumb, talk over the coffee cooler, while they have a coffee and wasting time. You can be really productive because you basically got your own interest in there. You're building your own equity in your own business. You're on the better side of the tax bracket. Got all the advantages of that. So it's a win situation, but you've got to be prepared to get in there and do it. So your day will look like you'll get up there, hit the ground running. You'll be excited to do your own work. You probably, one thing I find a lot of entrepreneurs that they don't know when to stop. So they have to set some guidelines when they can have some time off as well. So, but I think for the first 3 to 3 months, you'll probably be in there working 10, 12, 14 hours to get it off the ground. And then from there, you can choose your own lifestyle, what's best for you. And you'll be finding your own way, you know. So like getting on that surfboard and riding it, you know.
Yeah, it's your own business. It's like how much you put in and that how much disciplined you are, how much output you are producing, effectively working. You can't really lie to yourself anymore because you are the driver of your own business. So you have to put more efforts, produce results, and that way you can enjoy it. Sometimes it takes for someone like you, we have no idea how long it will take for you to really have a lifestyle business. Sometimes it takes few months, and sometimes it takes 1 year, 2 years even. You know, it depends. For everyone, it's different. I can tell you for sure. For first time when I done a business online, selling online in early 2000, and it took me almost 6 months to really, and now then we were selling for millions of dollars online successfully for many, many years with a lot of competitors, but we really killed it. You know, it was so good. So we have no idea. And I also want to mention one thing, folks, if you're still watching, they mentioned about the tax advantages. You know what, owning your own business, there's probably a lot of tax advantages. However, we are not a tax attorneys and not tax professionals, so talk to your tax attorney or professional to get advice based on that one. We are just sharing with you what inspire you to take action and to actually start your own business, but we are not giving you any tax advice, just to make sure as a disclaimer, you know.
Absolutely. I think the other one you're saying about, I think as a start off, the first thing people need to get is their TMI, which is their target monthly income. They've got to know roughly what their current lifestyle is costing them. They're working at a JOB, a job normal. JOB, they say, is just over broke. You know, you got to know what your current lifestyle is costing you. Once you know what your current lifestyle is costing you, then you have a target to reach, and you know when to leave your job or when you're going to be. And you also know where you can maybe cut back on your current lifestyle. Less can be more. Cut down on your current lifestyle, you're not going to need as much to sustain the business. So once you establish that, basically the sufficiency level of your business, you know what your current lifestyle costs you, then you're not shooting in the dark. You've got a goal to aim for, hitting sales targets based on what's going to cost you. So, and that depends. You're saying sometimes it can be 6 months, sometimes it can be a year. It all depends how much your current lifestyle costs. Some people want to look rich, but they don't want to be rich. They're clocking up a bad credit card debt or whatever. So get that frugal lifestyle happening at the beginning. That's the first 30 days or first 3 months. The less you can live on, the more you can invest in your business, and the freer you will actually be. Right?
That's an honest talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Be honest with yourself. You know, that's what that is.
Yeah,
self-talk. You know. So while all this looks good, and I'm sure whenever somebody wants to start, there are so many roadblocks that when they want to get started. So what are the specific roadblocks that typically prevent someone from starting selling on eBay and maybe on their own e-commerce store?
I think the roadblocks generally, say someone, you're saying like the Work at Home magazine, if it's people currently working in a job or they're doing things part-time and they want to know when they can sort of leave their job and start doing this full time. I think that one of the big roadblocks is fear, the fear of failure, or the fear they're not going to be able to make ends meet if they're working by themselves, or that fear of not having that safety net of a regular income coming in as an entrepreneur. Obviously, you don't have that regular paycheck coming, or we do end up paying yourself in the business later on, but you've got that fear of the unknown, the fear of failure. How is this going to work? Is this not? But that's the first roadblock, I think, overcoming that fear, actually getting in there and doing it. The other one, I think, another roadblock stopping people is the comfort zone. They get stuck in a comfort zone. They're comfortable on a current employee wage, but they might have the feeling when they get to work, they just feel like they're going through the motions. Every day is the same. Feel like they've got the life sucked out of them, but they've got this comfort of this regular paycheck, and might have a lifestyle that's costing them too much. So this comfort zone is another thing, another roadblock, I think, as well. And also distraction. Another one is distraction. Like there's too much information out there they think they need to do more courses or read more books and everything else. But a lot of times they might just need enough to know to get started and then get in there and learn along the way, do the courses. So they have this paralysis of analysis. So that can be a roadblock as well. Another one is finance. They might not have enough money, cash flow to keep their business afloat for a long enough time to get them to the point where they have sufficiency of their business. So there are a couple of roadblocks, and a lot of people don't know what they don't know. So having a mentor will help there too, I think.
No, for sure, not think. For sure, mentor will help you, who will walk you and just kind of keep hitting you back. Come on, keep doing it. You can do it, Folks, we all have a mentor. I'm sure Dave had a mentor. Anyone is successful, they are not successful on their own. There's nothing called self. I made it myself, because you need help and seek guidance from people who have already done it. That really shorten the cycle to a success. Basically, you avoid the mistakes, learn from their experience, and they tell you what not to do. Every course you are going to learn, watch, and study, they say what to do. Your to-do list is not that important. Then what not to do is, not to-do list is very important, but the course doesn't teach you that, what not to do. Mentor will tell you, and your coach will tell you what not to do. You might get hurt, and many times when we get hurt, we never start again. That's the power of having a mentor or a coach.
Absolutely. As I say, there's no such mistakes, only learning experiences. But by having these mentors, as you talk about, or even mentors you can find in books or people, the knowledge, it's going to help you make less of these costly ones, learning experiences, and learn from people who've walked before. So, as a lot of people say, they're not really that bright. They just surround yourself by a lot of smart people. So it's like osmosis. The sum of who you surround yourself with. So surround yourself with positivity and people who've got the runs on the board.
So Dave, you shared with us a number of roadblocks, and I was very impressed with that. They're the very typical ones, and people really kind of talk to themselves, fear, and and finances, and I may not be able to do it. He is smarter than me, and I am not that smarter. It's like a mostly self-talk, self-limiting belief. So what are the specific strategies to build a bigger, successful business on eBay and on e-commerce store, that are like keys to unlock roadblock doors to achieve a wild success? How we can get rid of those roadblocks?
I think it's basically everyone's got that, I don't know if the fear or this uncertainty of it, but the way to do that is just to start in there and start doing it. Start small and grow from there. Basically, once you know what your target monthly income is, start selling, learn the processes, find out what's successful, and keep repeating that. That's pretty much the whole system. The 5 things I laid out what an e-commerce business is. Keep learning, working on yourself, educating yourself, and just keep repeating those 5 things. That's pretty much what an online e-commerce business is: creating the value, making the sales, learn the marketing, and the finance, making enough profit there, net profit there to sustain the lifestyle that you want. So getting through the roadblocks, I think, is actually signing up for an account on a marketplace, finding products that work, selling, learning what makes a happy customer, and go from there. So at some point you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. I think that's as you're saying, the biggest stumbling block. But to get out of that, you just got to, as I say, feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. So would you have any tips there, Mohammed, for that? Was there anything that you think would be?
Yes, I think you shared a very good point. My tip would be, I just want to add a few things on this one. Get ready, mentally clear up all the misbeliefs, and just get a coach right to start with. Okay, and stick with that coach, because you are picking up the coach who is already successful. You just follow. They will kind of drag you with them, and they are already surrounded with successful people. So they're really inviting you into their inner circle, and just follow the pattern. Basically, that's how I believe. And I have done it in a number of businesses. I'm involved in a number of businesses right now beyond this Work From Home magazine. Everywhere I have a coach. If I don't know who is the most successful person in that niche, I don't even start that business at all myself, because there are too many unknowns. Life is too short. Just follow the successful path. Who is going to give you the recipe of a success? Who have already done it, and they are already doing it every day. They are learning it as they're expanding their business, and I'm just following their footsteps.
I guess no matter what level you're at, there's always another level to get at. So there's always going to be someone there that's going to know that. So, and there's plenty of information out. There's no lack of information now. And you look at the greatest books to read. To make sure you dedicate yourself, as like Stephen Covey says, sharpen the saw. Work on yourself physically and mentally. Keep renewal happening every day, and that's mentally. Always fill your head with some good stuff. They call it the mental protein. Make sure you read the books, find good mentors. Half an hour every day of reading. How many books does that add up to in a year there, Mohammed? A lot. You do that, you'll be in 5 years, as I say, you'll be in a different place. So it's that constant learning and self-growth which will get you there, yeah.
So Dave, as we are almost closing, very close to close, what is the first physical action step you want someone to get started with eBay and e-commerce store?
Okay, obviously, short of getting yourself set up on an account, which I imagine a lot of people here will probably already have anyway on the marketplace, would be, if you're serious about doing stuff full-time, is getting yourself a spreadsheet, basically working out what your current lifestyle costs you, finding your target monthly income. From there, you've got a roadmap and you know when and how much you need to sustain a business. Once you get in there and start selling, finding opportunities, getting in there and doing it, making customers happy, you know how much you need. If you know what's going to be possible, at that point, you know when to quit your job and start doing things full time. So I think the first step is to know what your target monthly income is. Spend less than you earn, invest that little bit extra into the business, but you know that where to go, you got that roadmap. This is so important. So many people ask, what's your target monthly income? What's your current lifestyle costing you? They don't know. So I think the first most important thing you can do if we get in there to sell online is know what your target monthly income is. And then you know how much you need to sell and get online these marketplaces. And from there, you know where to go. I think there's a lot of things you need to do, but that's a crucial one, I think, yeah.
Cool. If you want to check, folks, if you're still watching and you're really impressed with the Dave story and you want to check what he's selling, what's his website, we did share it on the front, but here is the website.
HeavyMetalMerchant.com.
Yeah, HeavyMetalMerchant.com. So you go ahead and check it and see how many products. It's very impressive. He has a lot of brands, and I am sure you can click on a contact us and outreach to them, figure out how the hell you formed a partnership with many, many brands. That's the question you want to ask him, what he was thinking, how he outreach to a bigger brands and how he positioned himself. That's the question I want to ask someone like Dave when I outreach to him, because that's a secret to his success. I can tell you for sure. I did not ask that question. However, that's a secret, really. How you really attract a bigger brand to sell you. However, I don't want to answer him right now. I want you, because you're watching this and you want to connect with Dave and you're impressed with his story. So when you contact him, ask that question to him. Then he knows that you came from Work From Home magazine and you understood the whole interview. That's the key. I already gave you the question, so don't tell I don't know what to ask Dave. I gave you the question already. However, if you really want to connect with Dave in person, like as a private, like his Skype or maybe on a Facebook or maybe his phone number, I have the information. However, I'm not going to give it to you. Why? Because I have no idea you are really interested in talking to him. Only you are just taking and wasting his time is not good. You've probably spoken with so many people already. However, if you feel you want to sell on eBay like Dave is selling and like he is successful, I gave you his website. You can check it if that's interesting to you, and you want to have in your own niche on some other topic, and you want his help. Here's what you need to do: pick up your cell phone. Here's my cell phone look like this, and send a text to this number. Okay, I'm going to share with you. Text HMM, that's a message, to send to 404-418-6019. If you are texting it from outside of US, you need to put a +1, that's a country code for US, +1 404-418-6019. That's the number you need to call. That's our system number. We are going to ask your name, email, and then we are going to give you the information. One of his way to connect with Dave. I already have his permission to you can connect with him, but however on one of the channels, and that way you can build a better relationship with him. However, if you are very serious to work with and you really want to take a next step in your life, that's the most important. Not just to get his information is not good. Remember, we have your information before we send it to him. If you need to be respectful of someone's time. Very, very important. Again, take your cell phone out and send a text to this number 404-418-6019. In a message, put HMM. HMM stands for Heavy Metal Merchant. And if you're from outside of US, then you need to put a +1. This number works worldwide. Okay, that's way how we can outreach to Dave. Dave, what would you say as a final word? Who like to sell on e-commerce and liberate themselves, take into the next step to create a lifestyle business?
Well, really, I think it comes down to a couple of things. One of them is, as I think you mentioned, is business is all about relationships with people, customers, vendors, suppliers. So you want to build up relationships with people and have the mindset of how may I serve? How can you serve? How can you serve other people out there and your customers? And basically that famous quote, Zig Ziglar, help enough people get what they want and you'll end up getting what you want. Have a happy customer, help them as much as you can, make sure that they're happy. That's your focus. Help enough people get what they want, you'll end up getting what you want. You know, that's how it works. You got to give to get back. The universal law, you know, of reciprocation, how it works. So I think that's the mindset to have.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Dave, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Work From Home Magazine and its entire community. We appreciate you. This is Mohammed Sadiq. Wish you good luck, good sales. I do hope our paths across again our next hangout from Work From Home Magazine. All best wishes.
Thank you.